It's a brand new week, and we are going to sit down, discuss, have a conversation. This is kind of like a unwinding time for you. I know the previous week has been busy. Your weekend has been a whole lot. You've been going out, you've been partying, you've been going to church, weddings, naming ceremonies, whatever it was. Now you need to get back and focus on the new week ahead. That is tomorrow. That's Monday. We all have work. We all have school. We all have whatever it is. The busy week begins again. The most dreaded day of the week is here. And you and I have no choice but to step into it if God allows it and make the best out of it like everybody else. So today we will be talking about something that I found on Reddit. A lady's, should I say her experience that I found on Reddit. I want to read it out to you, then let you know my thoughts. But before that, we will do a little something. We'll have a class, yes, a class on how to be a very good client or a customer in any community pharmacy you walk into, because there are lots and lots and lots of behaviors that people put up in the community pharmacy that is very annoying, extremely annoying to me. So for every episode, we're going to talk about one thing. So I call it Pharmacy Client 101. So get seated, take your notebooks, and let's start writing. So the first on the list would be going to the pharmacy and asking for a class of drug, but you know exactly what you came for. Those category of clients, I just don't know what is wrong with them. Like, you come to the pharmacy, for example, let's say you want a hematonic or a blood tonic, like we usually say. You have a specific brand that you want. Why don't you come and say, I want, let's say, Polyfa, or I want Astifa, or I want 3Fair, or I want whatever brand it is. But you come in and you go like, I want a hematonic, or I want a blood tonic. Then you expect us to go through all the blood tonics. We have Polyfa, we have this, we have that, we have that, we have that. And after spending about 5 minutes going through the 7 shelves of blood tonics we have, they go like, I want this one. Or like, no, you're not even going through all of them. Via my discretion, I go through I mention 4 or 5, give it a few examples and their prices. And then you tell me, you mentioned one that is not even among my list. I'm like, if you knew what you wanted right from the beginning, why come waste time? Why don't you just come and be like, I want this, so we give you that? Why do you come and say, I want a blood tonic? They will give you options. Then you don't even choose any of the options. Then you know, it's not like you're going to look on the shelf and be like, I want this. No, you're like, out of your head, you already know the name and you mention it. And it's not even part of the list that I gave you. So like, why waste so much time? Like, it's so annoying. Like, don't go into let us learn from here. Don't go into any pharmacy and do that. It's very annoying to whoever is dealing with you. We might not show it, but it's very, very annoying and very degrading to you. Like, I started to ask myself, why are you wasting time? You could have saved a lot of time, or you could have saved my wasting of emotions if you had just gone straight to the point. It would have been saved a whole lot. So that's it for Pharmacy Client 101 today. See you next week for the second session of the class. So today we'll be talking about someone is venting, and this person has named the venting write up. Stop shipping back your kids. We should stop shipping back our kids. Okay, so she says that I was sent to Ghana for 9 years, and guess what? I still can't speak my native tongue properly. I didn't fit in there. I didn't talk to anyone. I was always a quiet kid, and everyone thought they could force the quietness out of me. I never worked. This thing about Ghanaians, when you go into, it's like when you are a quiet and you're a reserved person, that is out of character for a typical Ghanaian in a sense. Everyone wants you to be jovial. Everyone wants to be an extrovert. Everyone wants you to make noise. But there's something about introverts. Introverts are extroverts around the people they are very close to, or people they are very very comfortable with. You find someone who is so quiet, so silent among people he or she is very, very comfortable with, and the person is all over the place. So you don't need to force out someone's quietness out of them. You just need to make the person more comfortable around you, and they would be more willing to open up. That's just naturally how they are. So going on, maybe I'm neurodivergent. Maybe I just didn't fit in socially. But forcing me into an environment like that made it worse, not better. The situation where she's not even feeling comfortable in the environment. So then, ideally, she's not going to fit in. She's not going to come out of her quiet shell. So she goes on like, I stood out even after 9 years. I never fully felt like I belonged there, and people could still tell I wasn't originally from Ghana. So what exactly did I fit? Nothing. I'm not even saying you shouldn't let your child learn about their roots. Of course, it's good for a child to understand their heritage, but please do not confuse cultural exposure with punishment. You want them to connect with their identity, great. Send them on holidays to visit family. Let them stay for a year in a safe, loving environment, not a strict institution. So that's where her actual problem lies. The fact that the environment wasn't a safe, quote unquote, safe, loving environment, but a strict institution. And when we say strict institution, I'm sure all those listening know where this conversation is leading to. So she goes like, speak your native tongue to them at home. Let them read books, watch African shows, talk to elders, actually educate them. Don't abandon them. Because sending your kids straight from the UK to a boarding school in Africa, like expected, especially when they didn't see it coming, is cruel. Some of those schools feel like prison camps. Sister. The caning, the early wake-ups, the isolation, it doesn't build character, it breaks it. Here I disagree. I will digress into that later. In my case, I wasn't even misbehaving. It was just about learning culture. At 9 years? You can't tell me that's necessary. They could have cut it short. They could have done better. So I'm saying this clearly. Stop sending your kids to boarding schools in Africa as a solution. Stop lying to them about it. Stop calling it discipline. Stop using culture as a cover for cruelty. If your child is struggling with behavior, or you're scared they're heading toward danger, do your job as a parent. Get therapy, talk to a school counselor, go to youth support services, involve junior police programs if you must, but do not abandon your child because parenting became hard. If you're not ready to deal with the worst sides of parenting, you shouldn't be a parent. Full stop. Now, Auntie Madam, whoever thou art, I would want to pick out and break down all the few things that you've mentioned. You were like, the caning, the early wake-ups, the isolation, it doesn't build character, it breaks it. It's cruel. In your situation, you didn't come to Ghana to as a punishment. You didn't come to Ghana to get you into the right attitude. Probably that's what you are thinking, but I don't know what your parents saw, because when I read through the comment section, someone mentioned that she's the kind of person that looks like she's into punk, rock, gothic stuff, and that is something that is it's like the north to south of Ghanaian culture. So your parents might not like that about you, and they might not have sat down to talk to you, and they know that this is not something that you enter in with the snap of a finger. You've stopped being gothic. It's a phase. Some people's phases take longer. Some take a few years and they are back. They leave that phase. Some never leave that gothic state. Yes, so I'm pretty sure your parents' point of view was totally different from what you were thinking that. But then saying that it doesn't build character, I disagree, because for me, the early wake ups and all those things, it builds some level of discipline in you as a person. So you learn to wake up, not necessarily early, but you learn to wake up on time. You learn to sleep early or sleep on time and wake up on time. Make sure you're having adequate rest. It teaches you the SHS, depending on the SHS you go to. My SHS taught me a lot about life in general. Taught me a lot about navigating through the disciplines of these waking up early, going to bed early, and all those tiny things, which I feel it's a necessity. You need to go through that. Kind of like a stage. Those who never went through that, they approach, if they're in Ghana, they approach life differently from those who actually lived that phase, that 3 to 4 years phase in senior high school. And like what this young lady is saying, in my opinion, I feel like if you are, and I know a lot of parents who've done this and it's helped them, it's kind of like about a 90% success rate, in a sense. If you are a parent and your child is in Ghana, at least they should complete SHS. The reason why I'm saying this is, let them fully develop their character. Let them fully develop themselves. Let them cross the teen years of adventure and all those things before you expose them to the culture of the US, the UK, the whites. Because if you don't do that, and as they are still in that adventurous period, and you tend to expose them to that, it makes most of the time your training, all the training they had here, becomes void. Whilst if they had stayed here for a bit more, whatever training they were receiving here in the Ghanaian environment will be more sealed or more fortified before they leave here. So yes, when they leave here, they'll still leave. A few things will be broken down here, and a few walls will be broken down, but at least they'll still have some level of Ghanaian cultural integrity or Ghanaian cultural. I don't know. I want to use a certain word. The word doesn't come in. They will still have a larger part of them being that Ghanaian training they had or Ghanaian discipline that they had will still be there, which is good, which is very, very good. So I tend to understand when parents leave here, give birth to their children outside, they're able to get the papers and everything, and they bring them back to have the training here, to school here, have the basic education to like senior high school, and they go there to go and do college and all the other stuff. Because by then, they would have, their character and everything would have been fully cemented in the Ghanaian culture, because parents would like their children to have a more Ghanaian culture. Because comparing Ghanaian youth to the whites, we are more disciplined. Generally, we are more disciplined. We tend to have that fear of, you need to respect your parents, you need to obey your parents. That thing is there, which in extremities it is wrong, but then at least the respect is there. Unlike there, where the respect is a very thin line that you can cross, and even if they cross it as a parent, you can't discipline them, you can't do anything there. But then if they are here, they would have been disciplined enough to know that there are certain lines they shouldn't have been there to cross, which is quite good and understandable. I think well, that's what she thinks. That it's cruel, it's cruelty, and they should go and seek support, even saying therapy if they don't know parenting, that parenting has become hard, the child is not the problem, and blah 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 blah. Oba opportunity to in my conclude my opinion, opportunity to do too much, because the fact that you say you are Ghanaian, you stayed in Ghana 9 years. The 9 years you chose not to allow Ghana to enter you in any way, because for you to still have this mindset that it's cruelty and all that. But I don't know how your seniors might have treated you in SHS. There's some level of cruelty. But then, if you are being disciplined, this is the Ghanaian culture. We don't spare the rod for you to spoil, because prior to you coming, the rod had been spared and you were spoiled. So they are doing maintenance. They're not even going to reduce the spoilage, because they can't do anything about it. They're just doing maintenance. So at least your parents can handle spoiling kakrana aka. Amazing you find them. Do you get it? Yeah. So it's not always the parents' fault that they are bad parents. The environment out there breeds a lot of disrespect for children, because there are so many the rules here, or the strictness here, that will make someone disciplined, like fully disciplined and fully respectful to like a certain level. Most of those rules have been cancelled, or have been let go, or have been loosened. Yes, that's right. I've been loosened so much that you how can you, like, if you're a Ghanaian child and you tell a Ghanaian child you are grounded, you're not leaving home for like two weeks, stay in your room, some people will be glad. I'm telling you, the way some people will sleep. And then you're supposed to see their friends, they go to school, they present the clothes, they have to come back home, they go into their room, they do their homework. This the way some people will love it, because they will be able to sleep. At least they are grounded. If they have TVs, they'll be able to watch TVs. Maybe you've taken their phones and stuff away from them. They won't die. That's the thing, because we have many ways by which we can keep ourselves engaged. Unlike a honor, where you are grounded and you're so angry. Yeah, we can't let you grounding me. So like that's my whole thought on that. So what do you think? Do you think parents bringing their children here to be trained, to be disciplined, so that they at least develop some level of Ghanaian-based character? Me honestly, it has nothing to do with their learning culture. It's not about culture. It's just because they are afraid their children being there would grow up and they will be very disrespectful. They might end up, there's a very high possibility that they will end up being very disrespectful, being influenced by the environment there, and how the whites train their kids, or how the foreigners train their kids, which they are not happy with. So they would want you to be trained here in the way that they were trained, that they feel makes them who they are. And I suppose that there are many aspects of that I disagree with. There are certain ways of training that's very uncouth, but then that's a discussion for another day. So that's my thoughts on that. What do you think? Do you have any whatever you have to say? Please sound it off in the comments. Let me know. Spotify has comments. Sometimes one person asked me, say, make a comment. Spotify has comments. YouTube has comments. You can leave your comments there, and I would reply as soon as I see it. So thank you for joining me today. See you same time next week.